Welcome to The Explainer. All right, today we're going to talk about something huge. I'm talking about Walmart's massive gamble teaming up with OpenAI to completely reinvent how we shop online. And listen, this is way more than just some fancy new chatbot. This is a fundamental change in how they want us to buy things. And it all starts with fixing a major frustration I think we all have when we're shopping online.
Okay, so let's dive right in by talking about a problem that I know you've experienced. I'm talking about the endless scroll, right? That feeling where you're just drowning in a digital aisle that never, ever ends. That exact point of friction is what this new technology is built to destroy.
Oh, it's a story we all know too well. You're looking for one simple thing, and next thing you know, you've got 20 tabs open, you're comparing products that look basically identical, and your eyes are glazing over from reading a million reviews. You just end up more confused and exhausted than when you started. It's a classic case of what they call analysis paralysis, and for online stores, it's a really big deal.
Okay, so back in May of 2023, Walmart steps up and announces this really bold solution. And they did it at Microsoft's big developer conference, a stage that's usually saved for these massive tech breakthroughs. Their big idea? An AI-first shopping experience designed to just cut through all that noise and give you some real helpful guidance. All right, so how does this thing actually work? In the real world, how do you go from just a vague idea in your head to a product sitting in your online cart? Well, let's take a look at the AI assistant they're calling Shop With Me. The whole point here is to make it feel just like a conversation. So you pop open the Walmart app, and you can either type or just talk to the assistant, like you would to an actual person in a store. It shoots back a curated list of ideas, and then you can tweak it, ask follow-up questions. It's a total shift from searching to talking. And this is where it gets really cool. So instead of having to type in some clunky search term like dinosaur toys for 10-year-old boys, you can just talk to it. You can tell it what you need in plain, simple English. It actually gets the context, the who, the what, the why of your request, and it understands the intent behind your words, which is a game changer. Yeah, and you've got to understand, this thing is so much more than a glorified search bar. It's an assistant for your entire shopping trip. Sure, it can help you find that perfect gift, but it can also do things like compare two different air fryers for you side by side, feature for feature. And then, after you buy, it can even track your order. It's basically like having a personal shopping concierge from start to finish. Okay, so the big question is, why? Why is Walmart betting the farm on AI like this? Well, this was not some random sudden move. It's actually the next logical step in a really long-term strategy to compete and win in a digital world that's getting more competitive by the day. You have to see this partnership as the peak of this long and, let me tell you, very expensive digital journey. It really kicked off with that massive $3 billion buyout of Jet.com to get some of that digital DNA into the company. Then they launched Walmart Plus to go head-to-head with Amazon Prime, and then the pandemic hit and just poured jet fuel on their online growth, which really set the stage for this leap into AI. And check out this number, because it really puts the whole thing into perspective. A 79% jump in online sales. I mean, that's incredible, right? But it's also a huge headache. With that many more people on your website, you need a smarter way to handle it all, keep them happy, and, let's be honest, keep them from just clicking over to Amazon. So this isn't just about having a cool, flashy feature. It's a really smart strategy with a few key goals. First, just make it easier to find stuff, which obviously leads to more sales. Second, give you those personalized recommendations that make you feel understood so you keep coming back. Third, partnering with a huge name like OpenAI makes Walmart look like a tech innovator. And finally, think of it as a huge experiment. If this works for shopping, imagine where else they could use this kind of AI. Okay, but wait, how do they stop the AI from just making stuff up? What the experts call hallucinating? That's a massive risk when you're trying to sell things. Well, the secret sauce, the thing that makes it all work, is this technology called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG for short. Here's a great way to think about it. The AI is like a brilliant librarian. It doesn't just pull an answer out of thin air. First, it goes into Walmart's own library, its database, and finds the actual products that are in stock with the right prices, the real reviews. Then, and only then, does it use the brainpower of something like OpenAI's models to wrap all that information up into a helpful conversational answer for you. That two-step process is what keeps it totally grounded in reality. Now, we have to zoom out a bit because this is so much bigger than just Walmart. This really feels like the starting gun for a fundamental shift in the entire retail industry, and of course, for how all of us shop. We are right at the beginning of something huge here. And get this, the early results are looking pretty darn impressive. Walmart is saying that people who actually use this AI assistant are spending, on average, about 20% more than shoppers who don't. I mean, that's huge. It shows this is way more than just a gimmick. It's actually helping people find what they want and maybe even stuff they didn't know they wanted. It's a really powerful proof of concept.
But okay, with all this promise of a super easy shopping future, there are some pretty big red flags. There's a real peril here. I mean, it raises some serious questions, right? What happens to all our conversation data? Could the AI start developing biases, maybe showing one group of people better products than another? And how do we ever know if the AI is really helping us or if it's just pushing the products that make Walmart the most money? These are super important questions we've got to think about. And believe me, Walmart is just getting started with this. The grand vision here is to turn this assistant into like a total lifestyle companion. I mean, imagine taking a photo of your living room and asking it for furniture that matches, or having it plan out your meals for the week based on your diet and what's on sale. The end goal is to just completely blur the lines between shopping online and shopping in the store. And this quote, I think, just sums it all up perfectly. We're moving away from these cold, robotic keyword searches, and we're moving towards having actual conversations, warm, helpful conversations with the places we shop. It's a complete change in how we think about e-commerce.
So this all leaves us with a really big, provocative question. Are we watching the beginning of the end for the good old search bar? Is this new conversational world the future not just for Walmart, but for everything we buy online? I guess only time will tell, but man, one thing is for sure. Shopping is changing, and it is changing incredibly fast.